So ESPN are laying into one person on ESPN, Dan Wetzel, is kind of laying into Nike on how they have kind of come about with the Caitlin Clark launch, and I agree. Not that I agree. I think it's been a bit of a shit show. Um, I think Caitlin Clark, they are releasing the sneaker at Caitlin Clark's least relevant time as a pro. It's like, I'm just trying to think. It's like releasing Wemby's first signature shoe now, where everyone hates him. And you might be saying, "Oh, Wemby just made the final." Well, Caitlin's playing the best basketball of her career. So, yeah, like it is, like it's a similar thing. Caitlin's playing the best basketball of her career outside of like on a 13 game stretch. She's played the best 13. Other than post Olympics, but we're not really counting that because the other teams that had Olympians were tired, and the Fever basically had a free training camp when every other team had players playing the Olympics. But at the end of the day, this is one of those things now when it comes to Caitlin where it's like, look, it is kind of irrelevant. Like, not that she is irrelevant, but like the hype is kind of dying unless she's facing the New York Liberty on at prime time on national television. She's struggling to get a million views, whereas she was getting a million views every single time she like walked onto the floor back in the day. But from Dan Wetzel, his article here, and I'm just gonna very much summarize this. You can go read the article if you want to see it fully. Obviously it says here they first signed her to a deal in October 2022, and before her junior season, and they agreed on a 8-year, $28 million deal, one of the worst contracts of all time. For more than 3.5 years, Nike has kept Clark on the shelf, even as she developed one of the most popular marketable athletes in the country. There's one single national commercial, and this is like a lot of people are upset. And I saw a thing being like, everybody's like, oh, this is the way Caitlin wanted to release, is the way Caitlin wanted to release it. And it's like, I think we can, not that we can be upset, like we can, there's obviously you respect the wishes of the player, but we're all entitled to our opinions. We're all entitled to our opinions. Like, we don't have to agree with every single thing that is being done on a executive level. It's all the weirdest things where it's like, everyone thinks you have to agree. If you disagree with anything the Fever do, you hate the organization. I hate the organization, but there are plenty of people that disagree with stuff the Fever do. I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan, and I think she not wrecked the hype, but I don't think she helped her hype in this scenario. And I think Aaron Kane kind of fucked it too, to an extent. But you've got so prior to your release, just 3 posts in 2026, 2 on X and another TikTok in January. You visit. This is a company built itself by relentlessly marketing star athletes. It's one of the biggest failures I've ever seen, says Sonny Vaccaro, the now 86-year-old retired long-time sneaker executive, famously signed MJ. He's part of a fucking movie. She was bigger than Jordan in some ways because she was a known commodity when she entered W. The public grabbed onto her like no one else. She's more than just a basketball player. Made no sense. I think that I think she's very she is a basketball player now. I think she's still the most popular basketball player, but unfortunately, right now she is a basketball player. I've said this, like the Caitlin Clark hype is still there. She's still incredibly hyped, but the mania is gone. And let's be very clear, she was 5th in All-Star voting. While Nike remains yada yada, they've declined to come to ESPN as relevant non-use of Clark, instead focused on what's to come. Better late than perhaps than never. And obviously she's doing everything, but there's one thing here where it'll reach consumers only 4 years and 5 competitive seasons after she partnered with Nike. Even as its stock cratered, the company mostly ignored someone who proved capable of pitching everything from boat insurance to grocery stores. They're obviously there are bigger problems than Caitlin, but where is it? There is a point here. Obviously they released Kobe's, whereas there's an Angel Wilson point. One additional theory was a push for the company to first release signature shoe for a more accomplished veteran Angel Wilson. A 4-time WNBA MVP, 3-time champion and the best player on Team USA's Olympic gold medal team. She was the best player in the gold medal game. Up till the gold medal game, Stewie was the best player on that team. Like, I watched every single game they played. Stewie, I got it, she scored the most points. Stewie was their best player till the final game. But, says then there's a matter of race, Job hangs over WNBA, the league is 2/3 black until the release of Wilson's A1. They hadn't had a signature shoe for a black WNBA player since 2002. They also, like, to act like Sabrina wasn't the only one. Says here the final model for swoops. More recently, it invested in white players such as Ionescu, Deladon, Dan Taurasi. Taurasi never had a signature shoe. Deladon never had a signature shoe. And if you want to say, oh, they had PEs, well, so has Jewel Lloyd. So has Jewel Lloyd. Plenty of WNBA players have had PEs. Aja Wilson was the face of the Cosmic Utility line, which flopped miserably. How much that factored in decision delay going all in on Clark? I think it factored in a lot. It says here, the demand we signed her was insatiable, said Dave Pikioski, head of marketing, Team Sports. Team Sports and Wilson Sporting Goods. Everyone wanted to get their hands on something Caitlin Clark or watch anything Caitlin Clark, and that has persisted. It to an extent. Like, you could sell literally anything with Caitlin Clark on it, and it would sell. Like, it didn't matter. Like, Caitlin Clark's jersey as a rookie was one of the hardest things to get. Nobody was able to get a Caitlin Clark jersey. It was crazy. And all of a sudden then, with now, you can easily get Caitlin Clark jerseys. Caitlin Clark jerseys are on sale. I'm saying, oh, they kind of over-adjusted. But I'm like, I get it. Like, they over-adjusted. But still, the hype's not quite there. Yes, the shoes are going to sell out straight away. I agree with that. The shoes are going to sell out. The first edition of the shoes are going to sell out straight away. But the problem is now is that you're selling shoes, the first version of the shoes based on novelty now. And we've been waiting so long. If they had have released, like, people are saying, oh, it takes 2 years to make a shoe. There is no way that, like, a lot of these signature shoes are in the vaults. They're in the vaults. This technology was probably in the vaults. They probably had something very similar to make a concept. And not only that, like, they could have, the sneaker being out in December 2025. And, like, again, let's not forget, the sneaker was supposed to be released at the start of this year. Everyone thought it was going to be out when she played for Team USA, and suddenly it's delayed. My guess is that it was delayed for because of the potential lockout. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one because I do like the shoe. I love the Travis Scott black and silver swoosh. Like, that's a beautiful shoe. And I think the shoes will stand on its own merit. And I think the shoe will sell well. It doesn't look like it's going to be a very Nike ideable shoe. So Caitlin's got to be very creative with collabs on this. And it's definitely the best of the WNBA shoes we've seen this year. I still think the Sabrina 2s are probably the best. The Nike ID Sabrina 2s, when you could Bruce Lee them, are still probably my favorite of the WNBA player shoes. But at the end of the day, look, Nike lost a lot of money out of this. And what they should have done was, even the shoe was only to be released at this time. It didn't take 2 years to make a knockoff Chanel logo. Like, it didn't take 2 years to do that. It didn't take 2 years to essentially make the freaking Emporium Dublin logo. Shout out Robbie and the lads working at Emporium. Where are we with the logo here? It shouldn't have taken 2 years to make make the Emporium Dublin logo. Like, but yeah, it is an interesting one. I think I like the shoe. I'm gonna buy it, and I reckon it'll play well. But still, Nike absolutely dropped the ball. They should have been selling. They should have had Caitlin Clark's logo ready from the second she set foot in the league and been selling T-shirts with her logo, just like they had Paige Bueckers. Paige Bueckers is the worst logo of all time. The bucket, like she has the trash can logo. She is the worst logo of all time, but they still had it when she was in college. Anyway, see you guys.